All right, we're skipping introductions for this one. And normally when I don't do my introductions, say my name, say the channel, all that stuff, normally it's because of a controversial topic, maybe a like an entertainment political kind of thing. Well, this one is controversial, there's no doubt about it, but it's not anything to do with politics or any any GameSpot or Kotaku article that was just annoyingly bad. No, this is about Kojima's next game. So I'm sitting there on my couch yesterday evening, okay, and I open up Twitter, see what's going on. Nothing really happens on Twitter normally at night, okay, for the most part, like unless there's events and stuff. And I see this tweet being circulated around, Jeff Grubb saying this stuff, crazy Jeff. No, honestly, he seems like a really nice guy, but he's saying all this stuff. It's being spread around like wildfire, and it is that Kojima's next game may be published by Microsoft. Now, I tweeted this out, and people were very fast to correct me, and I realized it, and I want to correct it out loud for you guys and make sure that I'm being fair to everybody in this video. One thing I want to say very early is I don't want to start a console war. I'm not a part of it. What I see very often on Twitter, especially things like yesterday, all these Xbox people, I'm not saying like they're the problem, but these Xbox people being like going after quote unquote Sony fanboys, that these Sony fanboys are going to be crying when they hear this stuff, and it's, they don't want to hear it when Sony does it to them, but then for some reason they do it to Sony. It's kind of like they go low, we go high, or and it's like, well, they don't do it either. So it's a little odd, and so that's the point. I don't want to start a console war. This is not about that. I've always been about playing games. That's it. If there's a good game, I will play it. I don't care where it is. I will find a way. So I'll either get an Xbox or I'll get a PC that can run it to play it. Okay, that's my stance on it. There's really no reason to attack people. And so, like, if you are an Xbox person, there's really no reason, I'd say, to rub it in to PlayStation people, because you wouldn't want them doing it back to you. You know what I mean? So that's I know that's like a I don't know, like a lesson of how to be nice to each other, and maybe you don't want me to, you don't come here for me to teach you that. I understand that, but that's just something I want to get out there. Now, published does not mean exclusive. So that's the thing that people told me, and I did immediately after I retweeted it, I did immediately think, you know what? He said published. He did not say it's exclusive to Microsoft. He said Microsoft would be the publisher of it. So basically, that's really all there is to this rumor. This abandoned game yesterday that was announced, a lot of people thought that maybe it was some sort of very small secret studio that's like working on behalf of Kojima, which is kind of disrespectful to it because it's not that case at all. And so you're kind of undermining their work by connecting them to Hideo Kojima. So that kind of sucked for them. I kind of feel bad for them. I know I wasn't part of that group that did that, but I feel bad for that development team. But that got the pot stirring. And then here comes good old Jeff Grubb saying, no, not connected to Kojima, because Kojima's next game may be, he's in talks, and it's not finalized yet, but it sounds like it's gonna be. He's in talks to have his next game published by Microsoft. Now, again, it doesn't mean it would be an Xbox exclusive or an Xbox and PC exclusive, although, if we're being honest with each other, if the game is published by Microsoft, I don't know why. Now, there are examples. There are Microsoft-published games that are on PlayStation, but I don't think it's very likely that would happen. You know what I mean? Now, it would be an example of, again, Phil Spencer going against his word of not only our games, can games actually be, and by the way, I'm not going after anybody, I want to point things out. He was talking about the exclusivity stuff, and I know people will kind of nitpick exactly how he said it and what he meant by it, but this would be an example of taking a studio or a person that just worked exclusively with one company, moving them over to yours and making them exclusive to yours. Now, I get it. Like, if you did that in the reverse, it would also be bad. And Sony's done that as well, right? You take a studio that just made an exclusive game on one console, and then the next game that they make, you actually make it exclusive to yours. It's kind of dirty tactics, but again, it's something that people in the business have to do. So again, that's where I stand. If this happens, here's factually the thing. Good for Microsoft. Fantastic. That's a huge win. If you have a Kojima game being exclusive on your console, that's big. That's massive. I will for sure be playing it. So I either need to get a Series X, because I'm not going to get a Series S. So I'll either get an X, or I will get a PC strong enough to run the game. That's factually what I'm going to do. I'm not going to really sit down and massively complain over it. And you can. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I don't think it's the biggest. Firstly, I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world. And what I will say, okay, When it comes to Kojima, I love the guy. He seems like, I mean, his mind is on a different planet most times. I feel him and Tetsuya Nomura, they're just on like different wavelengths. But what I will say about Death Stranding is, for a game that, and I love Death Stranding, I actually like it, so I'm kind of like picking on it while also like I liked it and I liked the lead into it. The game did well, but it didn't do super well for Sony and even for him. Like, the game sold initially very good, like very, very good, but it basically died after the first month. Nobody bought it after the first month, really after the first couple weeks. It was definitely one of those games that I think internet attraction for it was a lot higher. Like, people were more just interested in it like for what it was, because like, what in God's name is this game, right? And so trailers and online hype and all that stuff did equate, because it did sell like good. I'm not saying like it sold 1 million copies and that's it. It sold, I believe, like 4 million in the first couple weeks, and then it really slowed down. It didn't even get remotely close to 10. It definitely stopped, okay? So what I will say, again, if you're a Sony guy, let's say, and you're, upset about it, it doesn't mean that like, like the console war, let's say, it doesn't mean like you immediately declare Microsoft the winner of it, right? Now, again, I don't care about the console war. I'm not a part of it. I think this is a big deal, and this would definitely help Microsoft, because it just it's giving them more stuff to work with. They're going heavily down that RPG route. Obviously, getting Bethesda super helps with that, with Elder Scrolls, and then even you go to like Avowed from Obsidian and stuff like that, Fable, right? They're really building that. If you can get some different stuff in, if you can get whatever in God's name Kojima's doing next, that's just going to be wacky and weird, you start to develop your portfolio as like, okay, we have a lot of diversity. And I think Microsoft, I saw some people on Twitter like talking about Microsoft's diversity. I think they actually do have some pretty good diversity. Maybe not necessarily like right now of the games that are out, but I would actually argue they do. Even a game like Grounded. Grounded's a very weird and different kind of game. And you look at the games coming up, like Everwild. I'm so excited for Everwild. They have a lot of different kinds of games. State of Decay is very different from Everwild, which is different than Halo, which is different than the Bethesda games. So, and if you throw in Kojima in there, you start to basically do what Sony has done, where it's like, yes, Sony's thing is like story-driven games, so like a common theme is like the story's going to be pretty solid, or the characters, but they are also different. They kind of border sometimes on all being open world. You got like Days Gone, Horizon, stuff like that. But then you do have the different ones. You do have the Kojima ones, and you have the Naughty Dog ones, and you have God of War and stuff like that. So you have a lot of diversity there, while kind of sticking to the theme of like strong story games. So it is a big deal. It's not finalized. And one final thing, Jeff Grubb did say today to clarify that he doesn't know if it would be so people thought that last night. Again, he said published, he didn't say exclusive, and then he clarified and he says he doesn't know if it would be exclusive, and if it happens, the deal would be that Kojima would still be able to negotiate deals afterwards with other companies. So it would kind of be a Death Stranding thing, where it's like, okay, we will make one game for you, it'll be possibly exclusive to you, but then like the next game, we continue to just we're gonna pick and choose what we want to do, which does make sense, because Kojima does seem like a guy who doesn't want to be, a lot of people will say like, hey, could Sony buy Kojima Productions? I think after Kojima went through what he went through with Konami, he probably doesn't want to be bought. He doesn't want to be owned kind of by a company. And although Microsoft, Sony, they wouldn't treat him the same way as Konami did, I feel like if I was him, right, I'd want to try different things as well. Kind of weird that he's bouncing. He's like, okay, I'll do Sony, we'll do Death Stranding, then I'm going to jump to Microsoft, next I'm going to do a mobile game, but we don't actually know that. But you know what I mean? It is odd, but if it's what he wants to do, it's what he's going to do. So it would be a massive win for Microsoft. Please don't attack each other in the comments below. It's, again, I'd say the basic thing is this. It's a win for Microsoft. It would be a win. Okay, so if you are a Microsoft fan, if you have Xbox, all that kind of stuff, awesome. It's an awesome day, okay? Even if you're someone like me, so I don't have a Series X. I do have an Xbox One. I don't have a Series X. It's, I don't get to play it on PlayStation. Cool, fine. It's not the biggest deal for me. I'll find a way to play it. I get money doesn't just like grow on trees. I get like if you can only have one console, and if the game is coming out on the other console, you're like, shoot, I'm screwed. I get that. I understand that. But I think just it's just the way the business is. This is what happens in the world, okay? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Hopefully I was fair enough to both sides. Probably not, though. You'll probably let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Bell icon turned on if you guys want to subscribe to my second channel as well, Podcast Now Plus is its name. Link for it's in the description below. Again, thank you for watching. Keep it civil in the comments, and I hope to see you all on the next video.